I asked for the largest possible phone, and this is what they gave me. It's as big as my face. Let me take you back to a simpler time. August 5th, 2014 to be exact, 4:34 p.m. Eastern Time to be even more exact. And it was at that very moment that private citizen Donald Trump tweeted this in what came to be his signature all caps style. Quote, "Secure the border, build a wall." That tweet got 1,460 retweets and 1,632 likes. By Trumpian Twitter standards, a pittance. The tweet was widely ignored because who cares what some rich dude who's never going to have his hands on the steering wheel of the U.S. government thinks we should do to solve our border problem, right? Right. Which brings me to 2019. Donald Trump is in the White House. The government screeched to a halt over his demands for more than $5 billion for a border wall with Mexico and congressional Democrats' refusal to give it to him. And if there's one thing we saw over the first 2 years of Trump's presidency, is that those two sides, they don't sort things out all that easily. But as a famous philosopher, I believe it was Donald John Trump, once said, those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. So, where the hell did all this wall talk start? So when Trump announced for president way back in June 2015, the border wall was a part of his pitch, even though almost no one took him or the wall seriously. Here's Trump from that very speech.
I will build a great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall.
Now, in those early days of the race, Trump was very vague about the details of the wall. Quote, "You don't need a wall for the entire piece because we have wonderful people, Border Patrol people, that can do the job," he said less than a month after he gave that first speech in announcing his campaign. Quote, "But you do need walls in certain sections without question." Now, as the campaign wore on, and Trump, ever the showman, realized that his call for a wall was getting huge applause from every crowd he spoke to, he started talking about the wall a lot more, and in a lot stronger terms. By August 2015, Trump was already boasting about how tough his wall was going to be.
We're building a wall. It's going to be a wall that is not, nobody's going through my wall. Trump builds walls, I build walls. We're building a wall. It's going to be strong, it's going to be solid, it's going to be policed. You know, somebody said they can tunnel under. Well, that's true, but with X-ray equipment, they can't. All you have to do is fly a drone over it.
In October 2015, the wall began to take on superhero-like qualities. Quote, "We're going to build a wall, and it's going to be impenetrable. It will be a real wall," said Trump. By early 2016, as it had become clear to anyone paying any attention that Trump was in fact a serious candidate for the Republican presidential nomination, his wall pitch started to get even more outlandish.
We will build a wall, and you know who's going to pay for the wall? Mexico. They're going to pay for it because they make a fortune.
Now, while Trump never actually committed to how Mexico would be paying for the wall, the crowds at his campaign rallies quickly picked up on his pledge.
Who's going to pay for the wall? And by the way, 100%.
In March 2016, after former Mexican President Vicente Fox said there was no way in hell Mexico was paying for the wall, Trump replied,
That wall is getting taller with every interview these ex-Mexican presidents do. Getting taller.
and
We are going to build a great border wall. Going to be a very tall wall, very strong wall, very powerful wall. It's going to be such a beautiful wall. It's going to be so big. It's going to be so powerful. It's going to be as beautiful as a wall can be. I've got to make it beautiful because maybe someday they'll name the wall the Trump wall. Who the hell knows?
then Donald Trump won. And he won despite the fact that just 4 in 10 voters said they supported the idea of building a wall along the entire Mexico border. Now, quick break for this. Donald Trump never thought he was going to win the White House. Not ever. I know that for a fact from conversations with lots and lots of people who were in close contact with him during the final days of the campaign. Fact. Take it to the bank. FACT. But another fact is that he did win, and Trump spent 2 years trying to somehow, some way make good on his wall promise to his political base, despite the massive political and policy problems that it created. Despite his insistence in 2018 that, quote, the wall is the wall, it has never changed or evolved from the first day I conceived of it, he's changed virtually every aspect of it. The cost for the wall fluctuated from $4 billion to $20 billion. The height of the wall ranged from 35 feet to over 50 feet. The length of the wall, and whether it will be a wall or a barrier or a fence or something else, changes almost every time Donald Trump tweets. And the cherry on top is Trump's changing story about who will be paying for the wall. Now, unless you just started this video, you know the answer to that question already, right? Mexico. Actually, maybe not.
We're going to start building. Mexico, in some form, and there are many different forms, will reimburse us, and they will reimburse us for the cost of the wall. When during the campaign, I would say Mexico's going to pay for it. Obviously, I never said this, and I never meant they're going to write out a check. I said they're going to pay for it. They are. They are paying for it with the incredible deal we made called the United States, Mexico, and Canada USMCA deal.
Except in April 2016, Trump's campaign released a memo on his wall policy that included this line, quote, it's an easy decision for Mexico. Make a one-time payment of $5 to $10 billion to ensure that $24 billion continues to flow into their country year after year. Trump has shifted his rhetoric slightly, saying Mexico will pay for the wall through the trade deal that will replace NAFTA. But this claim remains preposterous. Congress hasn't ratified that deal, and there's no indication that it would bring in enough new money to the Treasury to offset the cost of the wall to U.S. taxpayers. So, look, here's how you should understand it. The wall is a stand-in for Trump and his campaign and his presidency. An outlandish idea whose bluff has been called. A poker player holding a pair of twos who just pushed his entire chip stack to the middle of the table and's got no plan on what to do next. And that is the point. We make New Point episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Check them all out.